Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. A Tuscarora family from 6 nations living in St. Catharines, Ontario, are frustrated with the way police handled their brother's missing persons report and now the investigation into his death. Here's Annette Francis with that story.
Family and friends are keeping Johnny Cronkrite's memory alive. They're also pushing the Niagara Regional Police for answers.
I don't know the next steps, but what I do know is somebody needs to be held accountable for what happened to my brother.
32-year-old Johnny was last seen on February 29th of this year. His sister Ashley called the police to file a missing persons report on March 2nd, but was told she'd have to wait 24 hours.
So then March 4th, finally, a police officer came out and took a statement from me to file the missing person report. And then the following day, 2 detectives showed up. By this time, we already had posters made and everything, and we had people out doing ground searches.
On March 9th, after Ashley had asked the police to search this place, she and a group of family and supporters came on their own to look for her brother, who had now been missing for 9 days.
Johnny used to go to this house because our cousin lived in this house.
She says there were 7 people in the house. They swore that her brother wasn't there.
But as soon as the door opened, you could smell the decomposure of his body.
After forcing their way in, they found Johnny's lifeless body upstairs, buried in a pile of rubbish.
I just started screaming, "Call 911, call 911.
According to an email and press release from the Niagara Regional Police Service, foul play is not suspected and the cause of death has not yet been determined. 2 people were arrested and charged with indignity to a dead body.
One was our cousin, and one was a childhood friend, like someone and her boyfriend. So Samantha Ember and her boyfriend, Mikey Patterson.
Sean Vanderklees is the president of the Niagara Regional Native Center. He's been advocating for the family.
My biggest cause for concern right now is the police are operating under the assumption that there has been no foul play, that this may have been an overdose, which is very problematic because the coroner's report's not there and it hasn't been released yet. And for them to just assume that this is the case is again very telling of their opinion of Indigenous people.
Ashley says a lot of things point to systemic racism.
I think the fact that my brother had a past criminal record and involvement with the police, I think that affected the search for him. And I think the fact that he was Indigenous affected the search for him.
As the investigation continues, the family and Indigenous community remain hopeful that additional charges will be brought forward. Annette Francis, APTN National News, Ottawa.
To Whitehorse now, where a coroner's inquest into the deaths of 4 Indigenous women wrapped up Thursday. Cassandra Warville, Miranda T.J. Charlie, Josephine Hager, and Darla Skookum died while accessing services at the shelter in 2022 and 2023. Sarah Connors explains the jury's recommendations.
After roughly 7 hours of deliberation, the jury issued 8 recommendations aimed at improving training and policies for Whitehorse emergency shelter staff. The jury recommended a complete policy review within 6 months by Connective, the nonprofit group who operates the shelter. That review would ensure that the way Connective runs the shelter is evidence-based and provides clear direction to staff. Other recommendations include adopting a more comprehensive staff training plan within 6 months, as well as recruiting more Indigenous employees and people with lived experience. The jury was also tasked with determining the women's cause of death, all of which are linked to toxic illicit drug use. They determined all 4 women's deaths were accidental. On Friday, a unity walk was held to honor the women. Loved ones of 52-year-old Darla Skookum, who died after shelter staff put her to bed on her stomach, shared their thoughts on the inquest findings.
Shocked, actually, and right now I feel angry and upset, and the outcome was not very what we expected. Like, I think we wanted a little bit more, somebody to be accountable for their actions.
These shelters are supposed to be safe spaces. They're supposed to, be there to help the people who are accessing. And I know that capacity is low. I know that training is necessary. But it's alarming to think that people are still being put on their stomachs as we speak, and it took an inquest to say that's not appropriate.
Although the jury's conclusions are not binding, it's hoped that any recommendations suggested, if implemented, will prevent future deaths. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
Now, Connective, the organization that operates the shelter, said in a statement it acknowledges and supports the jury's recommendations. Officials say it will carefully review the jury's findings and plan for short, medium, and long-term changes to strengthen service delivery. To Winnipeg now, where TR Wheatley has an update about the upcoming trial of a non-Indigenous man accused of killing 4 Indigenous women.
The decision about who will sit on the jury for the upcoming Jeremy Skibicki trial was made in this Winnipeg courthouse late this week. There are 4 counts of first-degree murder to which the accused has pled not guilty to. One of the women, Rebecca Contois' partial remains were found in 2 locations, inside a garbage bin and in a city-run landfill back in the spring of 2022. The remains of Morgan Harris and Mercedes Myran are believed to be in another landfill just outside the city of Winnipeg, according to the police. The 4th is an unidentified woman who's since been given the name Masgure Bejikwe, an Ojibwe name meaning buffalo woman, by Indigenous leadership here in Manitoba. Police say she is also Indigenous and in her mid-20s. Pre-trial proceedings begin in the courtroom on Monday. Meanwhile, the 12-person jury isn't expected back until May 8th. The largest courtroom here will be used for the trial for the next 6 weeks. TR Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Thanks, TR. Still in Manitoba, organizations are demanding the removal of a trustee at a school division after he delivered a presentation that included residential school denialism. Sierra Bettens has more.
At a public board meeting on April 22nd, Paul Coffey, an elected trustee in the Mountain View School Division near Dauphin, Manitoba, claimed residential schools were, quote, good and essential for reading and writing and arithmetic, also enforcement of school attendance, unquote. The comments were broadcast on social media. Coffey also says he went to a day school and has Assiniboine and Ojibwe ancestry. He denounced the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and land acknowledgements and called the term white privilege a racist comment. Nobody at the meeting intervened. Both the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and Southern Chiefs Organization condemned Coffey's comments and demanded his removal from the school board. On Friday, AMC Grand Chief Kathy Merrick demanded a full apology from the school board.
For somebody who is in a trusted position, a member of a school division, to make these remarks is very detrimental to our people and detrimental to our children, that because we have a lot of our children that go to school in that school division.
Manitoba's Teacher Society President Nathan Martindale described the presentation as vitriolic, uninformed, and harmful. Martindale said while the associations have the right to free speech, Coffey's views have no place in Manitoba's school boards.
The trustees are folks who are entrusted to safeguard and advance the education of young people. So that's why his comments were so appalling and unacceptable. So it's that commentary has no place on school boards. So yes, the Manitoba Teacher Society is calling on the trustee to resign.
On Wednesday, APTN sent an email to the Mountain View School Division asking whether the presentation was vetted and whether Coffey will remain a trustee. They did not respond. In a statement published on the school division's website, the Mountain View Superintendent and CEO, Stephen Jaddock, said he regrets not interrupting and stopping the presentation. Currently, Coffey is still listed as the ward trustee. Sierra Bettens, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
A First Nation in southwestern Ontario has declared a state of emergency due to rising benzene levels in the local area. The Aamjiwnaun First Nation is located near Sarnia in an area known as Chemical Valley. On Thursday, it declared a state of emergency due to rising benzene levels. Benzene has been linked to a number of negative health impacts, including cancer. Residents blame the increased level on a nearby plastics plant, Ineos Styrolution. It's currently closed for maintenance. Chief Chris Plain says the band office, child welfare center, and education department are closed due to the state of emergency. He says the First Nation has complained about poor air quality for years and wonders why nothing gets done.
You can only speculate, right? Environmental racism, the almighty dollar, the fact that the resources are needed more than our being here in this community. They must outweigh the fact that the product that they make over there is so important that they can't stop making it for a short period of time or find alternative places to acquire it for whatever purposes they have, that they need to continue to poison us.
Air Canada is apologizing after the AFN's national chief had her headdress removed by staff on a flight. We'll hear from the national chief after the break. Welcome back. Many, including the Prime Minister, are weighing in on an incident on an Air Canada flight where the Assembly of First Nations national chief had her headdress taken from her. Cindy Woodhouse-Nepenak posted photos of the incident on social media on Thursday. She said she was on an Air Canada flight on Wednesday and was carrying her headdress in its case as a carry-on item, like she's always done on previous flights. Only this time, a flight attendant stopped her and told her she must put the headdress in the cargo bay below. The headdress was then put in a clear garbage bag and placed below the rest of the luggage. Today, reaction from the Prime Minister.
This was a mistake that I know Air Canada is looking into right now, but from my perspective, that is, it is an unfortunate situation that I hope is going to lead to a bit of learning, not just by Air Canada, but a lot of different institutions.
In a statement, Air Canada said they regret what happened, adding that the headdress was too difficult to carry in the cabin due to storage space limitations. They added, quote, "We have reached out directly to speak with National Chief Woodhouse-Nepenak to better understand and apologize for her experience. We will be reviewing our policies as a result of this regrettable incident." Woodhouse-Nepenak says her headdress has extreme cultural significance and should not be touched or handled by others. A pilot on the plane later brought the headdress back after the National Chief complained. Here's some of what she had to say when we spoke with her earlier today.
I hope we can do better, and I know that I talked to Air Canada today. I talked to the president just moments ago, and I told him that we're going to be calling for a mandatory board member on Air Canada, the board of directors. That should be a First Nations person. We've asked for protocol for First Nations people, and we've called for cross-cultural training for all of their staff as well.
You can watch that full interview with AFN National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Nepenak over on our website, aptnnews.ca. Time now for our Truth in Politics panel, and we were joined on Thursday by Negon Sinclair and special guest Pam Palmater, who were here to discuss the viral memes of Manitoba's Premier, Wab Kinew.
The story is that Wab Kinew was in a community gathering. One of his relatives popped a tire, had a flat, and he offered in his suit, the same suit that he does press announcements, goes out there and greets and runs for office. The same suit, there he was fixing a tire on a dirt road in what looked like a First Nation, I think. And so this has exploded into a massive series of memes. And it kind of reminds me a lot of the mermaid movement or the merman movement just a short while ago, that communities kind of competing with each other. People have been taking the Wob Canoe image of him fixing a tire and abusing it in all these different contexts, making Indian tacos, delivering children, helping put up beadwork or art, and it's become a really funny thing. And there was a few things of people going, hey, this might be inappropriate to sort of use his image and put it out of context and so on. But I can tell you that from the Canoe family, they really find this whole thing very funny. And they also sort of indicate that fellow panelist Jennifer, who tweeted out actually something really interesting this morning, saying that it's interesting that I think it indicates this kind of public appeal, and that he's become a kind of figure in Manitoba and across the country that is very engaging. And so I think people are both having a lot of fun, but they're also indicating, I think, a real appreciation for the fact that he's balancing a government at the same time as changing a tire.
Yeah, we spoke with the Premier yesterday about it all, and he was having a good laugh as well. Pam, typically memes of politicians aren't so lighthearted. What do you think of what's played out here?
Well, I love that he's taking it in good humor, which is such a dramatic contrast between the non-Indigenous political world where everything is so serious and everything is some kind of slight. I love that we can do that. And as Indigenous peoples, we've done that for so many things, not just the merman, but think about Grogu, on the Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. Here he was, this lost little Grogu, looked like Baby Yoda, and we all took him in. We all put him in bassinets and dressed him up in native clothing. And I just think that this just goes to show how much we love our culture and we love our people, because we know other politicians would be threatening to sue or slander or whatever else. And I just think of the contrast between, do you remember Mike Pence, who got the fly on his head, and he was so upset about that happening, and there was a bazillion memes about different things on his head, including Bernie Sanders wearing mittens, and we all thought it was funny, but he didn't think it was so funny. And that's what I love about Manitoba's Premier. He's like, this is all good fun, this is what we do. And I'm sure he's made memes about people before. I can't wait to see all the memes about Negon. This is going to be fantastic.
With the mustache.
With the mustache, for sure.
Painted on.
Pam, Negon, we'll have to leave it there. Pam, thanks so much for helping us out this week. Appreciate you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you can check out a much longer discussion we had with Negon and Pam yesterday over on our website, aptnnews.ca, or our APTN News YouTube page. Film Fest showcasing Indigenous projects gets underway in Edmonton today. Details on that and more after the break. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. Charmaine Larson sent in this amazing shot of the Northern Lights from Sucker Creek First Nation in Alberta. Amazing stuff. Thanks, Charmaine. Be sure to send us a picture this weekend to share at aptn.ca for the chance to be our photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, sunny skies and 15 in Fredericton, 12 under the sun in Halifax. 7 in Kuujjuaq, rain, and 5 in Nain. 17 in Montreal, showers, and 11 for Val-d'Or. Rain and 17 in Sault Ste. Marie, showers and 13 for North Bay. 8 with rain in Thunder Bay, snow, and a high of 5 in Sioux Lookout. -6 in Churchill, 16 above in Norway House. 9 with showers in Winnipeg, sun's out, and 9 for Dauphin. 20 above in Regina, 18 in Saskatoon, 13 for Meadow Lake, rain and 7 in La Ronge. Over in northern Alberta, sunny and 10 for High Level, 4 under the sun in Fort Chipewyan. 10 for Edmonton, cloudy and 14 in Lethbridge. Showers and 14 for Vancouver, 15 with rain in Kamloops. 14 in Prince George, 16 for Smithers. 0 with snow in Old Crow, 15 above in Whitehorse. +1 in Yellowknife, 0 with snow in Norman Wells. -14 for Sax Harbor and Pawlatuck, 9 below in Colville Lake. 11 below with snow in Chesterfield. Flurries and minus 13 in Whale Cove. 20 below in Resolute, minus 14 with snow in Joe Haven. The Dream Speakers International Film Festival kicks off today in Edmonton. The event showcases Indigenous filmmakers, writers, actors from around the world. APTN's Chris Stewart spoke to some of the makers of the documentary Before the Sun, showing the challenges a Blackfoot woman has in the world of Indian horse relay.
I feel like there's definitely more eyes on me because I'm a girl.
Carrie Newman is the executive producer of Idamiko Damaskapi Nadusi, Before the Sun. It documents the real-life experience of a young Siksika woman, Logan Red Crow, who decided to enter the dangerous world of bareback horse relay. It shows her as a new rider and her efforts to ride in a traditionally men's sport.
This is a film that doesn't sidestep the reality of what it means to grow up as an Indigenous person in Canada, but it focuses on excellence and joy and love. And for me, as a father of a young Indigenous woman, I think it's really important that we focus on that sometimes also, because Logan is an incredible role model.
The documentary is playing Saturday at 9 p.m. at the Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theatre, along with dozens of other films during the Dream Speakers Festival. The star, Logan Red Crow, says she knew early that the horse relay was something she wanted to do.
I thought it was the coolest thing when I was just a little kid, so I always knew I wanted to do it. And then my dad was helping one of his friends with his relay team, and then my mom asked me if I wanted to enter the race when I got older. I think I was 15. I was 15 and I entered my first race, and the speed was really fun, and I just got hooked on it ever since. I feel like it should have crushed my spirit. I could have allowed it to, but one thing that really helped me was just being with my horses.
She says she learned much since filming the documentary and is chasing that elusive first win against the men.
I feel like I could get a win someday, but there's just a little minor mistakes that happen. So I'm still waiting for my day to go in the winner's circle in the men's race.
Over 40 films are featured in the festival from across the globe. Besides screenings, filmmaker panels, animation workshop, and more fill out the program. The in-person event runs until Sunday and continues online with virtual panels and workshops. And all of the films are available to stream. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.
Nice words there from Carrie. Love the horse relay. Looks like a beautifully shot film. Good luck to Logan making it to the winner's circle. That is all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Friday. For much more, you can head on over to our website. That's aptnnews.ca, or subscribe to our APTN News YouTube page. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy McGuitch, thanks for being with us. Have a great night.